How many of you, just out of curiosity, chose as your number a 1 or a 2 and your letter a C or a D? How many have that combination? All right? This is our D style. We call them the dominant style. Dominance. All right? And I'll tell you something about yourself in just a minute. Just hold on 1 minute, okay? How many of you chose as your number a 3 or a 4, but your letter a C or a D? Can I see your hands, please? All right, our eyes, our high influence, influential people, interactive people. We call them sometimes socializers. All right? All right, party on. How many of you, a 3 or a 4 combined with an A or a B? Can I see your hands, please? All right, this is our S style, our steady, our more relater, our more amiable style. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. And finally, how many of you chose as your number a 1 or a 2 and your letter an A or a B? Can I see your hands, please? Our C style, the more conscientious, the more analytical thinking style. Now, they raise their hands a little slower because all the facts aren't in yet. They're still analyzing this. 4 basic patterns of behavior. The D, the I, the S, the C. I'll just use the initials now, the letters, D, I, S, C. How many of you are familiar with this model called DISC, the DISC pattern of behavior? D-I-S-C. Just remember your letter, and it's important that if you live with somebody or work with somebody who is one of these styles, listen, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about each style, what makes them tick, and then what you can do to more effectively interact with them so that we reduce tension in the relationship. So, let's start with the D's. Where are you? D's. The more dominant patterns of behavior. The D's, their key desire, results. Bottom line, I want it done right, I want it done now. Or better yet, I want it done when? Yesterday. They're in a hurry for everything. Tend to juggle a lot of things at the same time and do them well. These are the people who are great administrators, delegators. They work best under pressure, under deadlines, and they play to win. Another motto for D's. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Rarely, if ever, will you see a D play games for fun. Oh, let's not keep score. Yeah, forget about it. But I will tell you this. Of all 4 patterns, the D's are the weakest listeners. Let me repeat that for them. The D's are the weakest listeners, but there's a reason. They don't have time, and they already know the answer. Why listen? Let's talk a little bit about what they do best. What they do. They take charge. They're competitive. Always wanting to win. They get things done. They're risk takers. All right? When they come across an obstacle, they're always trying to figure out, how do I go above it, around it, under it, or even sometimes through it? But I'll tell you this, if you want to ensure bottom line results, getting things done, and most of the time getting them done right, you give it to a D. Now what's hard for them is repetitiveness. They don't like to do the same thing over and over again, and that's why they delegate certain things to other people. And they try to delegate a lot of things. They're not very diplomatic. They come on strong. All right? They're blunt. And they don't like rules and regulations. That ties them down. These are people that always are looking for ways around the rules. If somebody says, this is the line right here, you do not go over it, they'll come right up to the line, put a toe over, see if something happens. If then you know, they're always challenging. How many of you know a D? All right?
I'm married to one.
How about the I's? Where are my I's? The more influential, interactive, expressive, socializing style. Their key desire, fun, excitement, applause, visibility, recognition. And as a result, they talk a lot about their favorite subject. Themselves. Generally speaking, I's are generally speaking. Because they have the gift of gab, the power of persuasion, the ability to get other people more excited about their ideas than even they are themselves. In fact, they're the only group who could win an argument, not knowing what they're talking about. Positive thinker, sunny disposition. Problem area, finishing things. Finishing things. They often start things, get bored, and either try to get somebody else to finish it, or they just drop it. Here's another saying for eyes. When all is said and done, more is frequently said than done. Let's talk a little bit about what they do best. They think quickly on their feet. They're cockeyed optimists. Very, very persuasive people. They're just, anything can happen. They're big, big, big dreamers. Full of ideas, impulsive in trying them out. They're great promoters. If you want somebody to go out in the community and sell something, an idea, a product, an individual, this is the person. What's hard for them is formal reports or keeping records. Hey, you want me to sell or do you want me to do reports? I can't do both. Pick one. They get easily bored, and they don't like to redo something once it's already been done. All right? That's why they typically, when there's a term paper due, it's the night before. And they only one draft, that's it. Where are my S's? My steady, reliable, amiable relators. My S's. Their key desire, harmony. Harmony. Close personal one-on-one relationships. They are the people, loyal, reliable team players. The glue that holds a team or a relationship together. In fact, show me a marriage where one of the spouses is an S, and I will show you a long marriage. Not necessarily happy, but long. Long. By far the best listeners, great team players, as I said. Problem area with our S's is they have a hard time saying no because they don't like to rock the boat, they don't like conflict, they don't like to hurt people's feelings, so they tend to go along with things even when they really don't want to. So they go along with things, resent the person for even asking, even though they're doing it, and then when they leave the sight of the other person, they figuratively pull out their little book, turn to the page with that person's name on it, and add yet another check mark. And when that page is full of check marks, that's when they explode. So let's talk a little bit about S's, what they do best. Incredible listeners, very friendly, great networks of friends. They're great coordinating and cooperating with others. But what's hard for them is they don't like competition. You know why? Because somebody has to lose. Think of the feelings that person has. Slow at making big decisions because they do not like change. They like the tried and true, the way it's always been done. And they don't like to voice contrary opinions, as I mentioned. How about my C's, the more conscientious, compliant, thinkers, analytical types? Their key desire, order, accuracy, precision, perfection. Their motto, everything in its place and a place for everything. Their patron saint, Spock from Star Trek. They're the great planners, problem solvers, organizers, great at creating systems, highly inventive people. And I'll tell you this, of all four styles, arguably the most intellectual. Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Einstein are C styles. So, if you want something done right, give it to a C. But if you want it done on time, think again. Because they procrastinate getting finished until it's what? Perfect. Sometimes they suffer from paralysis by analysis. So, let's talk a little bit about what they do best. Highly organized. Sometimes they even play in spontaneity. Think about that. Quick to think, slow to speak, but they are great planners. What's hard for them? They don't like unpredictable people, disorganized environments, incomplete, unclear directions. They're not very outgoing. Of all four styles, they play their cards close to the vest the most, all right? They don't normally give out a lot of personal things unless they really are comfortable with you and know you well. Whereas the I's, first time, you know everything about them. And they prefer to work alone because they have very high standards of quality. And most other people don't live up to those standards. So they prefer, let me do it myself. You know, I'll do it the right way.